the speakers are now ready to take your questions. Do we have any questions at this point? Kindly raise your hand, or you can even stand up, and a member of the team, the staff, will run up to give you a microphone. สำหรับช่วงนี้นะคะเข้าสู่ช่วง Q&A ท่านใดมีข้อสงสัยมีคำถามเชิญถามได้นะคะจะถามเป็นภาษาไทยก็ได้เดี๋ยวจะเป็นล่ามให้นะคะจริงๆแล้วเราก็มีบริการล่ามให้ด้วยนะคะเรามีผู้ทรงคุณวุฒินะคะมาจากต่างประเทศมาให้ข้อมูลที่น่าสนใจมากๆเลยประสบการณ์ที่น่าสนใจนะคะทิศทางในเรื่องของการเรียนการสอนเชิญคำถามจากท่านด้านหน้านี้นะคะ We have a question here if we could have a microphone ทีมงานขอไมโครโฟนด้วยนะคะมีคำถามจากสุภาพบุรุษด้านหน้าตรงนี้ค่ะ
Our keynote speakers Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Panayut from Udon Thani Ratchapat University in the northern of Thailand. First of all, I am very appreciative your perspective through your speaking. I just would like to know for Thailand, I would like to ask Associate Professor Naraporn. Yes, what is the key success of our education reform for our sustainable development? Thank you.
It's quite a big question.
Yes.
A broad question, a general question here for Professor Naraporn.
Yes, right.
Perhaps just wrap it up in a nutshell, briefly there.
Yeah, I think I would say that as I just mentioned in my talk, that full understanding the cooperation, and I think first of all is awareness raising. Yeah, that all people concerned are aware of the importance of school reform or of the educational reform, and share the responsibilities and work together cooperatively in order to make it a success. And I think another thing I would like to mention is that the policy of the government or of the Ministry of Education should be a long-term policy, not a short-term one, changing according to the ministers or according to the administrations, so that the reform would be continuing and would be successful.
Thank you. Thank you very much. A little bit.
We have one.
I appreciate what we get from the result of the DLTV, but I hope that is only the short-term or tentative system to solving this problem. As you said, teacher is better than TV or the. I do believe the authentic teacher is better than artificial or virtual teacher. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much indeed for your observation there and your perspective. Do we have any other interested persons? The gentleman in the middle section here. Thank you very much indeed for stepping out there. ขอไมค์ด้วยนะคะมีคำถามค่ะ
Thank you. For Dr. Ho, my name is Dave Bakewell. I'm head of program for Sahavit Schools, and I'm also in the graduate school at Chulalongkorn. I'm doing something similar to your SLR program, except I'm doing it at the primary level. Yeah. And the problem I have is finding that critical mass of staff to implement the program, and I'm at about 0.9 right now to your 1.0. Yeah. How did you deal with those issues, finding the critical mass of staff to implement?
I see. Thank you for your question. Sorry, I need to adjust. Yeah, to start with, as you see in my PowerPoint, we try to identify a number of core teachers who are really committed, and then I try to take them, outside the school. We do a lot of school visit, in other school, in the mainland, and then we try to do, some research together, right? We read a lot of literature on SRL theories, practice, and so on. And to begin with, I make an open announcement in my school, I'm saying, here, I want to invite a number of teachers who are willing to step forward, and in return, I will try to, adjust their working load. So if they are teaching 3 classes, for the first year, they only have to teach 2 classes. And I try to find additional resources, for manpower. So that creates some space for our teachers to start with. And for these core teachers, I give them a lot of professional development opportunities. So when they have that kind of confidence, we then move on to the second year. So in the first year, we have about 11 teachers. And I only focus on 4 subjects in 4 classes. And then in the second year, I try to find more teachers. And in the second year, I have about 26 teachers joining our SR team. Some of them are first-timers, but some of them have already 1 year of experience. So they can lead, the newcomers. And then in the third year, I have around 56 teachers joining the team. So in that way, we try to build up our capacity, Try to build up some core members first, give them confidence, and then they can help to be trainers of trainers. That's how we try to move on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed for that question there. I really support SRL and I really think it is the way to go. And for us here in Thailand, I think it is relatively new, but it is definitely something we should really work on and really try to develop it. And we may have to start small, like Dr. Ho suggested, perhaps make an announcement and ask for volunteers to jump on board. And then fingers crossed, we do get lots of volunteers working on this project. Any more questions? We have a hand in the back there. If we can have the team. We will take 2 more questions then, as we are going to go into the lunch break. So we'll start with the lady in the back. เดี๋ยวเริ่มที่ด้านหลังก่อนแล้วกันนะคะ แล้วก็มาที่สุภาพสตรีด้านหน้า เดี๋ยวด้านหลังก่อนค่ะ เชิญค่ะ
ค่ะขออนุญาตถามรองศาสตราจารย์นราพรนะคะคือตอนนี้นะคะจะเข้าศตวรรษที่ 21 ในการจัดการเรียนรู้แบบใหม่โดยจะมีการใช้นวัตกรรมของการเรียนผ่านดาวเทียมอะค่ะซึ่งเป็นนวัตกรรมที่ดีแต่ว่าในการเรียนการสอนนั้นเราจะต้องพัฒนาให้นักเรียนเนี่ยมีคุณธรรมจริยธรรมด้วยถ้าเราเรียนผ่านดาวเทียมอย่างเดียวเนี่ยเราจะมีวิธีการใดเพื่อจะวัดว่าเด็กมีคุณธรรมจริยธรรมนั้นด้วยค่ะ
A question now on the 20th century skills and what needs to be instilled in the younger generation. A question directed to Professor Naraporn here on distance learning, satellite learning, and how we instilled ethics among these children. Quite a tough one, isn't it?
I think.
Or perhaps, Professor Mick, if ladies first.
The teacher is a key in playing the role in instilling in students the ethical aspects of life through the teaching and learning process. They have to, the teachers have to have the students realize the importance of being, just studying in class or working on the assignment, being fair to themselves, to their friends, being trustful, not to copy the homework or the assignment to start with that. And also in all lessons that they teach, they need to integrate the ethical part into their teaching, not only the content. The problem of our teachers is that we focus more on the content than the process, than the other aspects of life.
Professor Mick, you have something to add, please.
It was just that when we saw the videos of the distance learning, the examples were all examples where children were having to learn some operations in mathematics or science. And I think there's a link between the two presentations either side of me, because it could be that in distance learning, the children were sent via the screen a moral problem to solve, or a social problem to solve, or one of those lovely dilemmas, what should we do about this then? So it doesn't have to have an answer that the teacher can correct. It's simply a vehicle for exploration, which is a way of helping the stuff that Stanley is talking about to develop fully, because the children can get involved, come up with solutions, test out the solutions between each other, and take it forward. Indeed, they may get back to the distance learning people to send it out again.
Thank you very much indeed for your answers there. Let's have one more question then. I believe there was a lady who has a question.
Okay, thank you. I would like to ask Dr. Stanley Ho about the SRL model. Well, I would like to hear more, about obstacles or problems. When you have starting point, right? When you start to use this model, what is the problems? What is the obstacle of, when you want to encourage the self-regulate learning? Because, from Thai culture or Hong Kong culture, I think from the very beginning, we should have some traditional learning habits or something. Can you tell us more about, the problems and how you correct that? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your... Testing? Yes. Thank you for your question. Yes, this is a very real problem, To start with, all teachers, when they face new changes, I'm sure they have that kind of feeling of uncertainty, anxiety, And they may have doubt, can it really work? Can we ask our students to do learning themselves, What is my role? Such questions are very common among teachers in the beginning stage. Yes, you're right. So what we're trying to do is, number one, we give them autonomy. We give them time. As I said, we don't have one kind of formula. So you can have different degrees of SRL. The highly, self-regulated model, or the highly teacher-directed model. So you can progress from a very traditional model to a more SRL model. We give time. And secondly, we create opportunities for teachers to observe, lesson each other. So just like the gentleman asked the first question, how do we build the capacity, I'm sure in every school there must be some core teachers who are more competent, who are more innovative. So we try to ask them to be change agents. So when they start something new and we see small improvement, then we celebrate and invite teachers, come along, see what happened in this classroom. You see, we can do this, so you can do this as well. So gradually, we try to build up that kind of confidence together. And of course, we have to admit that there may be some mistakes, some, difficulties. What Michael Fullan always say, this implementation dip. To start with, there must be difficulties. Okay, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to have failures. But let's try on. Let's go on, And I think as principal, we need to give them that kind of confidence, that kind of encouragement. And one more thing very important. I don't think in the 21st century, schools are alone, because schools can cooperate with each other. That's why in Hong Kong, in my association, the School Head Association, we developed a network of schools. Principal get together, learn from each other, teachers get together, and we organize joint school, professional development day, and they observe each other's classroom. They don't have to ask me. I just tell my teachers, you just give a phone to the other school, and then you become friends, and then you can visit each other. I won't be there. I won't give you any pressure, right? Feel comfortable, at ease, gradually, when they have that kind of experience. And then I will invite them to give presentation, to share with other schools. And gradually, they become experts. I'm sure one day every school can do that.
So motivation is extremely important indeed. We do hope you stay motivated, that you start on it, and that you motivate your colleagues, your fellow teachers, so it gets bigger and bigger and into the classrooms until it is a success. You have something to add, Professor Naraporn.
I would like to add that the self-regulated learning is one kind of approach that will help with the policy of, reducing the teaching hours, increasing the learning hours, or ลดเวลาเรียนเพิ่มเวลารู้ because the students will learn more through self-regulated learning and without the teacher prescribing everything. The only thing which is the most important factor is that the teachers themselves, they have to realize that they are not the imparter of the knowledge. They are not the teacher, but the facilitator. They have to admit the new role and facilitate the self-regulated learning process to be materialized in all the classes.
I do very much agree with this point that Professor Naraporn is making. We live in a society where it really is very much a vertical, hierarchical one. So anybody who is the head of, say, a classroom has complete control and everybody is pretty much subservient. We really need to move away from this structure and have a more relaxed learning approach whereby, like you said here, the teacher takes on a new and improved role. I think we have one more eager person who wanted to ask a question. There was one hand up. We'll give that person the last opportunity here, please. คำถามสุดท้ายจากด้านหลังนะคะที่ยืนขึ้นด้านหลังนะคะเป็นคำถามสุดท้ายแล้วสำหรับรอบเช้านี้เดี๋ยวเราจะพักรับประทานมื้อกลางวันนะคะแล้วเดี๋ยวช่วงบ่ายเราจะมาฟังจาก Keynote Speaker ท่านอื่นๆเชิญคำถามสุดท้ายค่ะ
Thank you so much for giving me the last chance to ask the questions. And my name is Winda from Chulalongkorn University. I'm a graduate student. And I'm Cambodian. And it's really great for me to attend this meeting. And my question is, I have seen the presentations to the distance learning televisions. I see all of the great points that have been developed in Thailand. But I want to see further what are the problems or what are the problems that the researcher or during the conducting the research have been faced so far. So this is my question. Thank you so much.
Another question for Professor Naraporn here about distance learning. Some of the challenges that you have faced.
During the past 10 years that I've been involved in this work, some of the problems that we have seen so far is the understanding, the kind of the understanding that the administration as well as the teachers have to understand the use of the LTV as one kind of media. And as I have said that, no technology can replace teachers. But some of them would leave the students alone with the LTV, watching just like the clip that I show, but in that case it's impossible because they have very few teachers, no, they don't have all teachers in all classes. But anyway, the students learning through one kind of media, need to be monitored and guided. And so it's again the role of the teachers and the administration that need to make sure that everyone involved understand fully how to make full use of the technology.
So there you go, you heard it loud and clear. Teachers can never be replaced. Your role is very, very vital indeed. And with that, we are going to wrap up the Q&A session. Thank you so very much indeed to the 3 guest keynote speakers up here on stage. A big round of applause for them. I'm sure they truly appreciate your presentations there. Thank you very much indeed once again. With that, we are going to pause here for a lunch break. Lunch is being served at the banquet hall downstairs. If you are not joining us for the afternoon sessions, do not forget to return your headsets for the interpreting services there. And we will start the afternoon session at 1:30. So enjoy your lunch, and I do hope to see as many of you as possible for the afternoon sessions. Thank you very much indeed for your presence so far.